Awesome. So super excited to have a few people on with us today. We're about to go live in the Facebook world. And so because of that, many of our blue collar members, I'm super excited for you guys to be joining us right now. As a part of being a blue collar member, I want to remind you that you have access to some of the most amazing vendors. In fact, about 2 hours ago, I got a text from a colleague of mine that's in another part of the country. And he just said, "Hey, Chris, do you know of a good place where I can take advantage of a good contractor network group that happens to have a buying group?" And I said, "Sean, of course. Don't forget Blue Collar has one of those." So we're super excited to have everybody in with us to do. I do want to do really quick before we introduce an expert that we have with us today. I want to just take a quick opportunity to say, Janet Wapinski, thank you so much for heading up this amazing program that we have for all of our members. As a part of the Blue Collar membership, they have access to a buying group that leverages the spend of our entire organization that can help negotiate pricing, special terms, discounts, rebates, all kinds of amazing things. And Janet Wapinski heads that up. Janet, thank you so much for joining us today.
You're welcome. Hi, everyone.
So really quick, Janet's joining us. And if you are a member and you're watching this, I want you to do me a favor. If you have not reached out to Janet to set up your vendor rebate review, you're missing out. You could be leaving dollars on the table and not even know it. So enough about that. We've got John in with us today. John, so glad to have you. John, why don't you take a quick opportunity to introduce yourself to our membership?
Sure. No, thank you so much, Chris. I really appreciate you, having me today. So yes, my name is John Korboth. I am the inside sales lead for Force by Mojio, which is a premier GPS vehicle tracking solution for small businesses.
Awesome, John. Thank you so very much to have us in. And John, if you could, as a previous business owner, it's always so very powerful to have people that are in my corner helping me be the expert in things I don't really know about. So John, a little bit of background before we hopped on here. Tell me a little bit about how Force by Mojio actually came to be.
Sure. No, my pleasure. So yes. So Mojio is the name of the company. Mojio is an 11-year-old company. We're a telematics company. We actually got our start on the consumer side, working with consumers that were looking to track personal vehicles. So if you were a family that had 2 vehicles, 3 vehicles, whatever the case might be, I want to be able to track those vehicles. We partnered with a number of mobile carriers. So for instance, maybe someone went into a T-Mobile retail store at their local mall or strip mall or whatnot, and they got set up for vehicle tracking through Mojio. Now that particular solution only provided a mobile app access. So there was no web access from the computer. So there were some limitations. However, that didn't stop some small businesses from also signing up for that, even though it was geared for consumers, for families, for instance. So we, as a company, we saw that as a big opportunity, and we did a lot of research, market research, and we saw that while there were a lot of different vendors out there providing GPS vehicle tracking, they were mostly for small or for larger businesses that had large fleets that had, maybe it was 100 vehicles or hundreds, plural, of vehicles. And there weren't a lot of valid options for small business owners that had 2 vehicles, 5 vehicles, 10 vehicles, 20 vehicles, whatever the case might be. So we took that as an opportunity to create what we consider a smart, simple, and affordable solution for small businesses. And that's how we came to be.
Wow. Smart, simple, affordable. I could imagine you would want anything more than that in a vehicle tracking system. I know as a previous owner, John, one of the things that was super important for me was, I tracked all of my KPIs and my team's KPIs around sales and close rates and average tickets and all these conversion rates. And as my company started to get bigger, I started to recognize that I now got to manage their driving habits. And gosh, man, those are the things that kept me up at night. Tell me a little bit about what you guys can do that will help me as a contractor to be able to get some visibility to what's going on the roadways.
Sure, sure. So it goes without saying that peace of mind should be at the top of anyone's list as a small business owner or manager of a business. And so along those lines, we have a number of different reports. One of those reports is called the road score. We provide what we call a road score for every single trip that a driver makes. And that road score is based on things like speeding, rapid acceleration, and harsh braking. So you can see how your vehicles are being driven. Unless you're using a solution like Force by Mojio, quite frankly, you have no idea how your vehicles are being driven. So with this particular road score report, you can designate any time frame you want. Maybe it's a week, a month, a quarter, or any custom time frame, and you can see how your drivers rank against one another. So simple example, you have 5 drivers. You can see but we're almost at the end of the month. Maybe, at the end of the month, you look at the month of September and you see, where they all are. You want to be closer to 100 than you want to be to 1. So ideally, you'd want to be in the mid 90s. So maybe you've got 4 drivers that are in the mid 90s and you've got 1 driver at mid 70s. Well, you probably want to have what a lot of people call a coaching session with that 1 driver who's in the mid 70s. And so, again, without having a tool like that, you have no idea that 1 driver is a huge potential liability.
100%, John. I'm thinking to myself right now, like, man, I remember back operating. I had some guys that I thought about promoting them to their next career, and based on their driving habits, I thought it should have been NASCAR. Like their acceleration and cornering and braking, and man, it's just scary. And not to mention, John, so there's the safe driver component, right? So there's value in, I know if my drivers are safe, that I'm going to mitigate the risk of a potential accident. That decreases my insurance costs, liabilities. I mean, there's just so much wrapped up in here that you guys are able to provide insights for that, quite frankly, I'd never seen. But John, why don't you do me a favor? Talk to me a little bit about the maintenance component and how that plays into what you guys do as well.
Yeah, sure. I'd be happy to. So, maintenance is one of those necessary evils. People have various ways of keeping track. A lot of times people are still doing it with pen and paper and trying to keep up with it that way. And that's kind of a recipe for disaster. So a component of Force by Mojio is vehicle maintenance. And so that allows you to keep track of routine maintenance, specifically oil changes, tire rotations, things of that nature. So for each vehicle in your fleet, based on the year, make, and model, you as the account owner have the ability to enter a mileage threshold. Maybe it's 3,000, 5,000, 8,000, again, depending upon the vehicle itself. And then once that vehicle reaches that mile threshold, you're going to be receiving alerts, to do an oil change, for instance. I've had real conversations. I've been here almost 3 years now. I've had conversations with folks who had to replace engines because a check engine light came on. They were never notified of that, and basically, there was very little oil in the engine, and so you can only imagine how much it costs to replace an entire engine of a vehicle. So that's why vehicle maintenance is so important, and then also having the ability to receive those check engine light notifications, which are also known as DTCs, or diagnostic trouble codes. Knowing when one of those pesky check engine light comes on, and not only what the code is, but what does it mean? Of course, everyone can get on their Google machine and find out, but we provide a real life description on what that means. So again, hopefully you can head off any small problems before they become big problems.
Oh no, so important, John. And so, one of the things that I look at is help me to understand, because if I'm running a small business, I'm looking at my cost of doing business, and I'm asking myself the question, do I really need a product like this, John? And at what size do you think that I really need to be thinking about having a program and what you guys offer in my business?
Sure. I mean, the simple answer, Chris, is that there's no fleet too small. And by that, I mean, as crazy as this sounds, we actually have some customers that have one vehicle. Now they're maybe just starting out and they have plans to add a second or a third in the months or the year ahead. But in all honesty, you could have one vehicle and still see the benefits of a solution like Force by Mojio.
Awesome, fantastic. And John, give me a little bit of perspective. So I'm trying to understand, is this program easy to set up? Tell me a little bit about how I get started with you guys and what that process looks like.
Yeah, sure. So we pride ourselves on being smart, simple, and affordable. And so part of that, your question, Chris, would be part of the simple or simplicity. So we use a device right here. I don't know how well you can see it. This device, some people call it a dongle. This device plugs into the OBD2 port, onboard diagnostic port of a light truck, van, or car. So using the example I used previously, you have 5 vans, pickup trucks, whatever the case might be. You sign up, we send you out 5 of these devices. It's a simple plug and play installation. We include what we call a get started card, and we have a support team that can assist, but it's very simple to get started. We would send you a link so you can activate your account from the computer, but we have both a web access from the computer, and we have a mobile app you can access from your smartphone. So it doesn't matter if you're in the office, out of the office, wherever, you still have the ability to track your vehicles once your account is set up.
And I think about this in my fleet. Every time I would put a new vehicle in the fleet, I'd have to get the GPS people to come out to the business, and that it's like it was just it was so painful, John. It's like I look back and technology has came so far. So quick question. I'm going to ask you a very pointed question.
Sure.
What if I'm a technician and I know that thing exists? What if I unplug it myself? What happens?
Sure. No, I knew you were probably going to go there because that's a common question, Chris. So first and foremost, if you're using the Force by Mojio mobile app, you're receiving a push notification the instant that occurs. The instant that device is unplugged, you're receiving that notification on your smartphone. As a team member, I actually have an account. Again, even though it's designed for contractors and small businesses, my wife and I have 2 boys that drive. We have 3 cars in our household. I've actually done tests myself, and I can tell you from personal experience that that's exactly what happens. That literally 2 seconds after you unplug it, you're getting that notification on your smartphone. In addition, on the dashboard map view, whether it be from the computer or your smartphone, when you see all of your vehicles, the one that was unplugged, it will literally say the word unplugged over that icon for that vehicle.
Oh, so you can't, like, the technician that I don't know what happened. I'm not really sure what happened. It literally, there is no other option. So it's not like it got disconnected from the satellite. It literally gets unplugged. So for business owners that are out there right now and you're wondering, should I have a solution for this? I can tell you that there is no price tag that you can put on peace of mind, not to mention the financial benefits that come along with the product. So John, I know that you're going to be joining us very soon at our Acceleration Days, October the 30th through the 1st of November. And we're super excited to be having you in Orlando with us. Do me a favor, John. Why do they need to come stop by and see you at your booth?
Sure. Well, first and foremost, I'm looking forward to the trip. Actually, my colleague Justin will be joining me. So we'll have our laptops, a looping video. Be happy to run anyone through an overview demonstration. But really, I just enjoy talking with people, learning about their challenges. Of course, as we've already talked about, everyone wants to know at any given time. They want that peace of mind. But every business is a little bit different. What might be important to you, Chris, might be a little different than what's important to as a business owner. So the reason I'd love to chat with anyone and everyone is just to learn what's most important to you and what are your challenges and how can we help solve those problems.
Perfect. Super excited, John. I'm gonna throw you a curveball, man. I like to have a little fun when we're on video, and it's kind of my staple, if you would. So I'm gonna throw a question out at John, a little bit two personal questions. You ready?
Yep.
Number one, is a hot dog a sandwich? Yes or no?
No.
Absolutely not. He came out at the gate, no. So next question, John. Help our clients and those that are watching this video know a little bit more about you, John. John, what's your all-time favorite song?
You know what? I'm a country music fan. I like Tim McGraw, and I think you can't go wrong with "Live Like You Were Dying."
Oh, wow. Thank you, John, so very much, man. I really appreciate this time here together. And just want to say thanks for all of our members that are watching this through our Facebook Live. Thank you guys so very much for attending, joining this. If you have any questions, you can always drop it in the chat. You know, you can always pick up the email, give us a call. We're here to help. John, thank you. Janet, thank you so much as well. Really quick, John, I've stopped the Facebook Live. For those that are watching this, if you're a non-member and you're wondering, what can Blue Collar do for my business? Why don't you do me a favor? You reach out to us at the Blue Collar Success Group. You'll find it, or you can just reply to the email that this video is attached to. We'll be glad to help you and get you not only connected with our coaching, our training, and all of our amazing tools, but not to mention all of the amazing vendor partners that we have that are going to help you build and grow your business. John, Janet, thank you all so very much for the time today. I appreciate everything you guys done. Take care.
Oh, thank you. My pleasure. Can't wait to see you folks.
Perfect. Hey, I want to take an opportunity to say thank you for watching this video and subscribing. My question for you is, what are your revenue goals this year? Why don't you drop them in the comments below? And remember this, you're either winning or you're learning.